count 20 eyes. If each person has just a number of eyes. No, I didn't never got that one out. Okay, I'm going to try on that one.
Why don't you take the shoes on top of your off?
I didn't know what's going to like.
She's got them in a different
I had no idea what was going on. But we're not going to be picking them, are we?
I think it's out of the house.
Oh, I don't know what was going to do it.
Marcia.
Marcia.
Marcia, sorry.
That's okay.
I had a friend whose name was Marcia, and she hated it. She stayed after her name. It's Marcia. Marcia. She changed it to Marcia.
Well, I was like, it's like Garcia. It only took me 50 years to figure out.
Hey.
I bet at least one's 50 now.
Yes, there's math, science, I don't even know what calculus.
Right, but I bet there's one that's over when we're done. We're not going to get through all of this.
I think, no,
So I bet we're looking at
Yes, ma'am. We're both wearing gowns.
so we all be really warm together.
there's sunglasses out there. I'm cool, I'm glad.
Yeah, we're open.
I grew up right in the Harvard Garden.
Wow.
Both my parents were such an American policy. How do you think we pronounce the capital of
Like to look at countries in Africa, what they should talk about.
54.
These guys are the young progressives that like to do that.
I don't think I never heard that.
Mr.
But,
And these people are like to kill
But I mean, even when I went to college, when I went to college, when I got 40, I studied American history and all of that. Even then,
in high school, I remember all the states.
Oh yeah, I've got to kill those. Those two right.
It's okay, I'm talking to myself. Perfectly fine.
No, Scott, not the limelight. I studied real hard.
I didn't know I had to study until I got here.
The air conditioning was
Oh, it's still dry. Hey, stop, come up here. Stand right there. You'll see what that person can see.
I fixed it.
Now look out. That one right there, see it?
Yeah, that one's hot.
That's hot.
That one's hot, and the middle one over here is hot too.
Well, I didn't know. Like I said, he told me I can't ask him to. The person's running.
It's up right now. That one's up higher right now. You did it before, but there it goes. That's it. Probably could go up a little bit. There you go. Is that too dark? Yeah, I don't know. You see me okay? I can't see nothing. I'll see the spot right now. What?
I can see you all in the shadow. I'm on the edge. Not here. There.
Can't see nothing.
Don't look up when you're up here.
That's my seat.
Fix that, won't we?
I did.
All right.
It's not control, it's choice.
In English.
Throw something on your jack to us.
See, I always say autopilot.
I say I always thought about the fact
But I did.
Nice shirt. Nice shirt. Here we go. Now we're talking. Very good. I'm a dookie.
Testing audio, 1, 2, 3. This is Bobby with Macon Media.
Speed limit says 20 miles. That'd be going about 50. The road's going to switch around here in a minute. Particularly the first time you ride. It's different. Thanks for here for us.
She said, come up.
That's what keep coming, said slow down. But else I don't listen.
You know where the curve is.
Kind of.
I got a stash for answers.
It was good. It was good.
Oh yeah.
I just left by myself on the chair. You're the, yeah, you had your today for Mary Ann. She's got COVID in the house and she's afraid she might have it, but somebody else does in the house. So I think I had it and I didn't know it. I thought it was cold. Well, it was really bad in my chest. And I was like,
I unfortunately had it.
you people don't know
Hey,
how
Scott,
to
did you go get my coconut water? It's in Rick's cooler.
Just now.
Yeah, Betsy doesn't know how to do it.
You can stand up if you want. No, we're not having you guys work. We're going to give you this.
How'd you like the convention?
There's a lot that doesn't work.
How'd you like the convention?
Betsy, I was giving you my.
First time I really watched the whole thing. Most
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch all of it.
you were working more than me.
Yes, ma'am. maybe a little bit more.
There's a hook right in the top. I would have given you my hood. Yeah, there's a hook.
I earned this one, sister.
More of a
Testing audio,
parallel to
one
the
more
floor.
time. 1, 2, 3.
Parallel to the floor. I love it.
So where do you want me to
Along
sit?
with this.
Something would fall off.
No. Yeah. Introduce yourself. That first beginning part.
Where's our other friend?
Hopefully we can. Anyway, I had COVID.
Oh, we're missing it.
Before we knew it was COVID. I had
This is off.
Okay.
That was my,
Okay.
I turned off my phone, about that, I didn't want something dinging in the middle
Yeah.
of the thing.
All right, you have extra.
Yes, but it's evil.
What is this? What do you say?
My trash.
Ready?
Hello everyone, my name is Matt Holland. I am the chair of the Macon County. This is our event, and thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I also want to thank the teachers and the candidates for being a part of this, and Mo Green for coming out here. And I'm going to hand the mic over to him. And he's going to introduce himself.
Good evening. Let's try that one more time. Good evening. Excellent. Good to see everyone this evening. Thank you for allowing me to be in your midst this evening. So my name is Maurice Green. I do go by Mo, and I am running for State Superintendent of Public Instruction. Look forward to the conversation. So, do we get started?
That's all you're going to say about yourself? Okay, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll talk more when it's my time to
Okay.
talk.
You want to go ahead?
So the purpose of our group, the Macon County Young Progressive Voters, is to not only do things for our community, such as we have a food and water drive going on. And I don't know if you've seen, but back in the back of the table, we have some, you can get donations to Together We Can here in Macon County, and they deal with foster families. So if you're willing to give tonight, that'd be great. But we do things like that, but our main purpose is to bring enthusiasm to young voters to be a part of the democratic process. So that's what we're all about. We're trying to just do more outreach as much as we can. So, what are the rules? Oh, sorry. This is Beth Bass. She is our senior. What do we say?
Senior is good enough.
Tonight's event, because we want to make it less stressful, we could all use a little stress release right now. And so there's an old game show called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, if anybody has ever seen it before. It's old. It was Jeff Foxworthy and John Senna, I believe, was who were the hosts for it. And they were contestants, adults were asked questions that were fifth grade curriculum. And so that's what we thought, let's make it fun. So I pulled questions from that show. So these are no more difficult than what we expect fifth graders to know. So each of the contestants received the questions and the answers a week ago. So they did have a chance to familiarize themselves with where we're going with this and what kind of questions would be asked. Now we get to see how well they studied. They do not get to have any materials like phones for checking in on anything. They don't get to phone a friend. They don't get to use tablets. But what they do get is random questions. And so up front here we have the variety of the topics: social studies, history, geography, language arts, science, and math. I would not do well on the math ones. Then we also have candidate questions. We have blue candidate questions, which are just basic, bored of bed, every day. What should you know? What do you think about that? Then we have the red questions. These are the more difficult ones. These are the challenging questions. And then the green ones are Go. Moving forward towards the future. What do you think the future looks like for the Macon County Board of Education? So we divided them up so nobody gets all the hard questions, nobody gets all the future forward-looking questions, and we will randomly have you select. So we're not even going to pick them for you. You're going to put your hand in there, and then Mo Green is going to read the question. Everyone gets 1 minute to answer the questions. All right?
Here you go. Like, introduce yourself.
I'm Marcia Doty, for some, I don't even know. Is it on? I'm Marcia Doty. I was a substitute teacher in Macon County for about 15 years. And I moved in here in 08, which was not a good time to get a full-time job. So that's what I ended up doing, along with a lot of other things here. And I retired from that this year. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Sue Feldkamp. I was a college teacher and coach for a long time, and then I moved up here in 98, left and came back in 04. And I worked at sports clubs, and I did a little bit of substituting or assistant help a little bit at Highlands a little bit. And I'm just a senior citizen. It's been a long time since I was in the 5th grade. But we're going to give it a try.
All right, now we're going to do a coin toss to see who gets to introduce themselves first. Each of our candidates gets 3 minutes to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about why they think that they're the one for the job. Matt is the expert at coin tossing. So we will let Mr. Breedlove call it in the air.
Yes. You put too much pressure on it.
Bobby, can we have another quarter? You got it. All right. Heads again?
Heads.
All right. Scott.
Everyone can hear me, correct? Ready to begin? Good. First, I want to give voice my appreciation to the progressive voters for Nancy putting this together.
You may need to hold it up closer to you.
Closer to it. You know, hopefully everybody heard that. I appreciate what they're putting out. I think I will begin by giving you a little background about myself. I'm a lifelong resident of Macon County. Went to school here, attended East Franklin Elementary, my father was there, and went to Franklin High School, graduated. And frankly, the only time I've been gone from this county was the time I was in college. I was fortunate to go to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, where I received my degree in business administration. Upon my return, I furthered my education in Western Carolina and received my master's in business administration. I went at night. At that time, I'll talk about that in a second. I had a family, so it's just a matter of finding the time to do what needs to be done. Anyone that knows me knows, above all else, it's family. This is what I like. All right, I'm holding it. Can you hear me now? Yep. As I was saying, it's all about family for me, shall we say. Actually, when I returned from college, well, probably the smartest thing I did, had some offers to go elsewhere, but I was down determined to come back to Macon County. And of course, one of the big reasons was the woman I loved was here, my wife Catherine. She and I have now been married for 43 years, and we've been together from now until someone calls us up to a better place. I have 2 children, both of whom are products of Macon County Schools. My son Jared and my daughter Annie, who she's actually Annie, not daughter Annie. She's here in college. Raise her hand, Annie, so people can see her. She herself works in the Macon County education system. She's the director of student services. And the one that keeps bringing me back is my 2, actually I have 3 grandchildren here in the system. 1 is 17, and the 2 that are here are both 11 and 8. And I promise you, if anyone has any questions about am I invested in Macon County Schools, the answer is most certainly yes. Nothing is more important to me than their education and and I'm striving to do to make sure that they receive the absolute best that they possibly can. The other thing you may know about me is I have kind of a personal creed, and I believe in the word that's called service to others. I firmly believe that when you're living in a community, part of that community, is you need to be vested in that community and work to make it a better place for everyone that lives there. When I came back, I've been involved in civic duties ever since I returned. I'll try not to bore you too badly. For example, years ago, I served in an organization known as the JCs. It was a young men's organization who worked to make the county better. We were forerunners at the Santa Power, for example. We involved in the clock tower. We helped to build the heliport pad for Angel Hospital. 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Well, I guess another chance. But anyways, thank you for listening, and hopefully come back up for that second time around.
No, because you're going to want to come another couple minutes. You're going to have an opportunity again. You'll have an opportunity to speak again.
So again, I would like to echo Jim's comments. Thank you, Betsy, and the Making Young Progressives for putting this event together. I also want to thank Pastor Ben Wendell, Discover Church a week ago today. Pastor Wendell and his congregation were here for the third or fourth year in a row doing campus beautification, and they do a fantastic job every year. 49 years ago, I'm also a product of Macon County Schools. 49 years ago, I was in a play on this stage directed by the late Earl Dryman, who's an ABC on the highways of this area. I'm a Macon County native as well. I'm an 8th grade graduate of the middle school that used to stand where the cafeteria is. I'm a graduate of Highland School. And tomorrow morning, I'll start my 30th year teaching here at Franklin High School. Thank you. When I see, you've got sensitivity to flashing red lights, close your eyes or avert them. But when I see Macon County Schools right now, I see a series of flashing red lights. For every kindergarten student who comes to school tomorrow, they only have one kindergarten year. For every student who starts at Nantahala, Highlands, East Franklin, Tuckahoe, and so on. And my candidacy is about having a sense of urgency. I'm not going to tell you that Rico has done a bad job, because it's not. I just have a sense of urgency that I want to bring to our school system. I look at that child entering kindergarten tomorrow. That's a child that's going to enter MBI, Macon Middle, and Franklin High, and I'm looking at the situations that we face in our classrooms, and I'm thinking we can't wait. We have mental health issues that can't wait. We have teacher recruitment and retention issues that can't wait. We've got a host of capital outlay needs that cannot wait. I want to promise you, as a school board member, if you were to trust me with your vote, that I'll ask the hard questions. I'll promote critical thinking in the classroom. I'll promote critical thinking on the board. I'll make sure every dollar that we spend can show up in the classroom. I'd ask that everybody who's here tonight, and if you're following Mr. Coggin's live stream, to go to my website, johndeville.com, and click on the History of Advocacy page, and look at all the things that I have done as a classroom teacher, not an elected official, but as a classroom teacher. Look at what I have done since I've been in the classroom for Macon County Schools, for the parents, for the teachers, Macon County, and for students and teachers across the state. In so many ways, I think Raleigh has abandoned us, and I think in some ways we can take advantage of that. Is that 3 minutes? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to start with the questions. We're going to start with Sue, and we'll start with Matt.
And then hand the question to Mr.
That's why I didn't need any glasses.
Okay, the first question.
It's a long one.
It's a long question. Number 113. A farmer notices that every day for the past 10 days, the number of pigeons in his field has doubled. There are 1,024 pigeons in the field today. and there were 2 pigeons there the first day. How many pigeons were there yesterday?
1,024 today. So yesterday would be 512.
You are correct!
Go with Matt. Okay, Council candidates.
Sorry, it's a tight
Start with Jim. Yep.
There we go. All right. So, on a class field trip, there are 4 buses taking 36 students to the zoo. Each bus carries the same number of students. How many students are on each bus?
It's going to be 9.
You are correct. It's too easy.
The hard ones are left. Can't look at it.
Okay. All right. Here we go. You peer through a window into a room and count 20 eyes. If each person has a typical number of eyes, how many people are in the room? You are correct.
We discriminated against pirates.
Okay, John, you ready? Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Oh, this is one of those fun ones. If a car is traveling at 40 miles per hour, how long will it take to go 190 miles?
Well, 4 goes into 19, about 4.5 hours. 1 hour.
I don't know if I can give you that. I mean, I mean, it's close, but it's 4 hours and 45 minutes.
So, I think that's not. That's not.
The judges are saying you can't get that.
No one said he was driving the speed limit.
All right. We're going to start with over there. We're going to do a candidate.
This is a candidate question.
Candidate question.
You can have to answer.
Right.
Okay,
I was
yeah.
making a joke.
This is out of which bucket?
This is blue.
This is the blue bucket.
Basic information.
How would you deal with curriculum challenges?
One thing you learn when you become a board member is that you put the best people you possibly can in the positions that are available. For example, currently our director of curriculum is Mickey Nutt. Mickey was the principal here for 2 years before he moved to the central office and was an experienced educator. So what you do is you sit back and you listen and you turn the experts loose and let them tell you, and then you agree or you disagree. But bluntly, in the times that Mr. Nutt has been, the curriculum has been no disagreement. He's working on a lot of things to benefit our students, such as a mentor program for young teachers. He's working with our ESL students so they understand better. He has worked on programs to incorporate youngsters into activities outside of school. So curriculum comes from the state, but you can tweak it to make it better for all the students in our that we are entrusted to care for in Macon County.
John, see if you're going to redeem yourself, John. What role does the Board of Education have in creating school policies?
has the final say in school policy. I think that process should be collaborative, so you're collaborating with teachers, parents, students, building administrators, the leadership team at the central office, but the buck stops with the Board of Education in developing policy. That's their number one role is to formulate policy and to see that the leadership team then executes that policy.
All right, now we'll move on to something simple like science.
Very good. Very good. Okay. What is the tallest mammal on Earth? The tallest mammal on Earth.
I believe that's a giraffe.
You are correct. Easy to come through. All right.
Yeah, it's just 4 hours and 45 minutes.
What are the 3 states of matter?
Solid, gas, and liquid.
You are correct. Good. What force pulls objects towards Earth's core and keeps humans from floating in the sky?
That would be gravity.
You would be correct. Okay, here we go. This is Jim. Okay, Jim. You ready? Science questions. When's the last time you studied science?
I refuse to answer that question.
What is the process of water turning into vapor called?
I believe it's called evaporation.
That's correct. Very good. All right, a difficult candidate. I'll stay right here and
You stay right there.
I'm gonna stay right here.
Turn the microphone on. He's got to do it closer to the mouth.
How will you prevent?
Push and hold.
How will you prevent?
They woke up.
How will you prevent conflicts of interest from influencing your decisions on the board?
I think the easiest way, I've got 4 other board members, and so if you're sharing the decision-making process, as long as you're not playing a game of Lone Ranger, and you're trying to ramrod your own individual agenda through, sure that all other board members have had their say, and that teachers, building administrators, all the leadership team in the central office have all had their say, and everything is above board. I think that solves that problem.
Oh, this is a tough one. How will you handle requests if approached by teachers?
It's kind of funny. I thought we were actually going to be picking out the questions we would answer on this, so I had stuff I'm not going to pick out. Talk about 3 different groups of people, 3 different groups. Basically, there's a process. And what board members have to be very, very careful is when you're approached by someone, the first thing I've heard when I went to my first training is, you never say, I'll take care of it. Because you're opening a trap for yourself that you may not be able to get out of. There's a process. If a teacher has an issue and they call me, my first question is going to be, have you talked to your principal? And if not, why not? I think that's the first thing you should do. If he or she indicates that's not appropriate or doesn't feel comfortable, then the next thing you do is you talk to the superintendent. Make him aware of your issues. But board members should never, ever, in my opinion, get involved in matters of personnel or matters of opinion or things that go in. As I said, there's a process to take place. That's why we put the good people in place.
It's like confusing now, it's language arts.
This is language arts. Language arts.
We know it's English. That's old folks.
Charles Dodgson wrote the book Alice Through the Looking Glass. What is his pen name?
He is Lewis Carroll.
Correct. Who's answering this question?
This is Jim.
Okay, Jim.
Yes.
How many compound words are in the following sentence? Someone from the classroom was playing baseball in the cafeteria.
Well, Mr. Reed, I believe I counted 3.
You are correct. And I'm just Mo. I'm not disagreeing. All right. Any pressure? You feeling any pressure?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, lots of pressure.
We're up by 1.
We're okay, and you want to keep it that way.
Maybe.
All right. How many adjectives are in this sentence? Billy made a rude noise in class.
That would be 1.
You are correct. Is this John?
Yes.
Okay, John, here we go. Who wrote the Harry Potter book series?
J.K. Rowling.
You are correct. Now, is that her pen name?
John,
She
for
has,
the
she
candidate
actually has
question.
a pen name.
Yeah.
Does anyone know her pen name? I might.
John, for the candidate question
It's
from John DeVille. This is the easy future.
How should the Board of Education determine its priorities?
I think it does that through a number of ways. I think it's through deep conversations with the community. Superintendent Lynch just, through the grant, commissioned open way learning out of Asheville to do some deep learning sessions, and so the priorities for the district were established that way. That's one way to do it. One way is just to wander the hallways and talk to teachers and students. Another way is to get out to different community groups and talk to them. And then you have to compare that with what the wallet is going to enable. So you have to look at what your financial situation is and match up that financial situation with what the priorities are.
Is it Robert Galbert?
This is, that's another.
Okay, here we go. What is your vision for education in this county?
When I first came on the board, at that time, there was a dumb saying that had been common. The emphasis at that point was, quote, every student should be made college ready. Folks will look at you and say, I'm not sure who came up with that. They were totally out of the left, right field, wherever you put it. That's just not what it's about. What's about is crafting an educational program that's going to give every single student that comes through our doors the chance to better themselves and make themselves a success in the future. That can be through college, great. It can be through vocational. I know in Macon County we have put a new emphasis on CTE programs, career technical, trying to develop that because that is where the future is. It's my firm belief. And the other part of it is, as we say, if you listen to the teachers, you get their input, they should be able to tell us what they feel like would be the best interest of our board and moving forward. And but always, I'll say it again, as long as I keep in mind the best interest students can't go wrong.
Now we're in geography.
Hope you all are learning, relearning stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
Sue, the Tropic of Capricorn lies in which hemisphere?
That would be the southern hemisphere.
That would be correct.
Okay. Am I still getting geography?
Yep.
Okay. So I got two there. There's you go. You got that one's good enough, whatever it was.
Okay, here we go. Maine borders which United States state?
New Hampshire.
You are correct. Okay, Jim, you ready?
We'll see.
What country has the longest border with the United States?
I believe that would be Canada.
You are correct. What landmass on Earth is known as the island continent?
Australia.
You are correct.
All right, time for another candidate question. I believe we started with blue. Who ended? I think you ended your last one. Start again.
Oh boy, this is a good question. What kind of relationship should a Board of Education have with the county commissioners? Yeah, here we go. Let's see how you
Are
answer
there
this.
any in the room first?
No, that's okay, a better one than we've had. If you go back and read the archives, which I have, you're going to find board members, Macon County Board of Education, and you're going to find county commissioners routinely suggest, almost every single budget session, we need to meet more often. That sentiment was expressed right here below us on May 28th. Josh Young, County Commissioner, we need to meet at least once a quarter. Absolutely. We need to meet at least once a quarter. And I would also add to that, every single dollar that Macon County Schools spends should be published on the web. So there is total transparency between the Board of Education, the county commissioners, between the Board of Education and the taxpayers. And I think through that transparency, greater trust in what currently exists can be fostered.
Should have asked this of my board when I was superintendent of Guilford County Schools. What is the role of the superintendent of schools?
Well, first, let me point out our superintendent here tonight is Mr. Josh Nance. And your new superintendent. And totally invested in our school system. The superintendent is basically the leader. He's the general. He's the pilot of the craft. Whatever you want to call him. He is vested in running our system. The Board of Education works with him. We interact with him. He reports to us. We try to give him the advantages that we can use. The bottom line, the superintendent controls our school system. And it's very, very important that we have a good one. When I first came on the board, and I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, we did not have a good superintendent. And it was not a good scenario. Since that point, we've been very lucky to have good superintendents. And I feel that we have the absolute best choice of what we could in Josh. He's not going to hit the ground running. He knows how the system works. He has his leadership team in place, and I expect great things from our school system.
Very good.
Social studies.
We'll change it up here, okay.
Yep.
The Great Sphinx in Egypt has the head of a man and the body of which species of animal?
The lion.
Correct.
Here.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me just keep going.
Good. Whose picture is on the $2 bill?
Well, you know, I found one of
Push and pull.
You know, I found one of those in my drawer. I guess I was saving it for something. But I heard it was a Thomas Jefferson.
Excellent. Very good. You're correct.
I'm saving it in my drawer.
We're going to switch it up and give them more candidate questions.
What are the current challenges facing Macon County schools?
I think the biggest issue that faces every single school system in the state is funding. For those that don't know, we have a system which is where the state determines the amount of teachers you're going to have, how to pay. All the other positions need by a thing called the ADM, the average daily membership, which is determined 10 days in the school year. And they take that figure and then they come up with an amount based on that number to fund your position. So it's woefully inadequate. Well, it just doesn't, especially in a county where we have 2 K-12 schools. You simply can't equate that in terms of trying to determine the teachers and the qualified staff that you need. The second part, of course, is our changing the world. It's our job as board members to try to look out, like I mentioned. Our children face an uncertain future, to say the least. And so it is our job to try to prepare them as they look forward to be a success in their coming years after they leave high school and come back home to Macon County.
What do you see as the role of the Board of Education?
Again, I think that the primary role of the board is to develop policy. And again, we develop policy through collaboration with teachers, parents, students, leadership team at the central office. And we balance all of that against the financial constraints. So you've got your money on one hand, and you have your priorities on the other, and you try to, what's the most important thing? Do we have the money money for it, and then you go down to you don't have any money anymore. But I think it's formulating policy and principles, and then you let your superintendent go with that, and your building administrators and your teachers go with that.
All right now we have candidates at
7.
and the teachers.
We should be 1 off 8.
9.
So they get 2 more questions.
So the teachers are winning.
Who did that math?
Who did that now? We are going to take a brief intermission, let everybody cool off a little bit. You have no idea how hot it is up here in the audience. But before we do that, we wanted to give Logan an opportunity to talk about education from the state perspective.
Excellent. Again, good evening to everybody. Oh Lord, we've lost the crowd. Good evening. Again, thank you so much for allowing me just a moment of your time this evening. So what I've been saying all over the state is that the very soul of public education is on the ballot this November, and that it is going to take champions of public education to meet this moment. Now, before the primary, I was saying something slightly different. Before the primary, I was talking about public education being dismantled brick by precious brick, and I would lift up any number of things, including funding of our public schools, where we find ourselves in 48th compared to the rest of the nation. 49th with regards to the effort that our state puts into public funding compared to the rest of the nation. At the same time, we're seeing the vast expansion of the private school voucher program that is literally going to take billions of dollars and have them go to private schools, and will allow the wealthiest of the wealthy, if you will, to take advantage of this, even if they already had their child in a private school and can obviously afford it. I would go on and on like that, and as I shared with many folks, I started depressing myself with those comments. And so I then sort of shifted gears and said, well, let me talk about a vision, a way forward, if you will. And so the vision that I put forward is the following. And it's the vision that we utilized when I was superintendent of Guilford County Schools for 7.5 years. That vision is, to use a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. And to combine that with a focus on excellence, being the best, because that's what our children absolutely deserve. And so that's what we'll do for the entire state. Is say now we're going to be the best school system in the entire country, if you will. When I would talk about being the best in Guilford County schools, folks would look at me and go, bless his little heart. He has no idea. We had the most low performance schools under the old accountability metrics when I arrived as superintendent. But I would continue to talk about being the best and being excellent, and then try to put in systems and strategies to get us to a place where we were recognized as a great school system. And so the same thing then would be true for us for the entire state of North Carolina. And so there are things that we need to be focused on. Obviously, we need more funding of our public schools. There's no question about that. We absolutely, though, need to revere our educators and pay them substantially. And when I say educators, I'm certainly talking about our teachers, absolutely. But I'm actually talking about all those who have a part to play in the education of our students. And so I'm talking about the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers, the custodians. They all are critically important. And then the word revere. It is the best word I can come up with. This is higher than respect. I want folks to understand that this is a noble profession. And so this isn't new for the campaign. This is what we started to utilize when I was superintendent of Guilford County Schools. I want our educators to feel like they are revered. And so that's part of the strategy. We absolutely have to engage our parents and community in this work. We absolutely have to provide safe and secure learning environments for each and every one of our students. We absolutely have to provide differentiated instruction so that each child can choose what they want to do when they graduate from high school. It may be college, and that would be wonderful. It may be career, and that would be wonderful as well. But they need to be in a position to be able to make that choice. And then finally, we must celebrate the good in public education. And so, when I would say this in Guilford County Schools, folks would look at me and go, well, haven't you read the headlines? Don't you know all of the challenges that exist in our public schools? And absolutely I do. But that does not mean that we don't have wonderful things going on in our public schools each and every day. And it's important for those who are champions of public education to be sure that you are lifting those things up. And so I'll just give you a couple of headlines about Guilford County Schools, where we celebrate it every day. We revered our educators. We had our parents and community embrace the work. Our students revealed how exceptional they were. Those low-performing schools under the old accountability metrics were no longer low-performing. The graduation rate went from the high 70s to almost 90%. It's now over 90% in Guilford County Schools, while at the same time increased the number of kids who are taking and passing college-level courses while still in high school, or advanced placement exams, and international baccalaureate exams where they would get college credit for. Increased the number of kids who are taking and passing career and technical education courses, to the point where the district was recognized in remarkable ways. The district was also recognized as a national district of character. One of three when I was superintendent that year that was recognized. Fast forward, this past year, U.S. News and World Report identifies the #1 elementary school in the state, the #1 middle school in the state, the #1 high school in the state, the #1 high school in the entire country. 4 things that U.S. News and World Report recognizes. The #1 elementary school, Guilford County School. The #1 middle school in the state, Guilford County School. The #2 high school in the state, Guilford County School. The #1 high school in the state, Guilford County School. The #1 high school in the entire country, Guilford County School. We have the capacity to do the work. Our educators can do the work. We as a community can embrace what's going on. Our children will reveal how exceptional they were. So that's what I was saying before the primary. Got home on the night of the primary. I've never run for office before, mind you. And so I'm watching the returns on my TV, and I was blown away. Over 400,000 individuals said they want Mo Green to be their next superintendent. At the same time that occurred, I said, well, let me see who I am running against. Whoa. If you don't know, let me just give you some highlights as to why then I changed the language to be clear that the very soul of public education is on the ballot, and it will take champions of public education to meet this moment. My opponent has already called for the abolishment of the State Board of Public Education. This is a body that is established in the North Carolina Constitution. The other thing that's in our North Carolina Constitution is free public schools. We need to be clear about where we're headed. And so I encourage folks to think not about whether you are Democrat or Republican, whether you're libertarian or unaffiliated, or any other party, but rather to say, I am a champion of public education. And if so, I would encourage you to talk about 3 things when you have the conversations that I encourage us to have with folks in our communities. One is experience. I've been blessed to have been the superintendent of Guilford County Schools, the deputy superintendent and the general counsel for Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools, have been in any number of organizations connected with schools. My opponent, she homeschools her students. Nothing against homeschool, but you're talking about the chief administrative officer for public schools for the state of North Carolina. 2,500 plus schools, 1.4 million students, administer the budget of $11 billion annually. You might want to have somebody that has had some experience. Second thing then is belief in our public schools. Certainly I hope you get the sense that I believe in them. My wife and I, we were blessed to have 2 children. We put both of them into our public schools. My opponent has called our public schools all sorts of things. Everything from cesspools of evil, lies, and deception, indoctrination centers, encouraging parents not to send our children to our public schools. And so I think if you want to lead our schools and advocate for them, you ought to believe in them. And then finally, character. I'm not talking about myself in this instance, but rather what we try to do with Guilford County Schools and what we'll take to the state with regards to character development. As opposed to my opponent who took her own children to the attempted insurrection on January 6, 2021, came back to her hotel that night and said President Trump is going to be in office for 2 more weeks, needs to set aside the U.S. Constitution, invoke the Insurrection Act, bring in the military, and have them arrest anyone who has helped certify the election. This is a person who's called for the executions of men, including Barack Obama, wants to have him executed on pay-per-view, if you will. I question whether this is the kind of character we want next to our children. And so I ask the following of you as I conclude my comments. Number 1, I certainly would request that you vote for Mo Green. Number 2, I certainly would ask that you support my campaign. You can go to my website, which is mogreenfornc.com. Number 3, I certainly ask that you spread the word about the nature of this campaign to all of your friends and community members. And then finally, I ask folks to do this all over the state. I ask people to declare that they are a champion of public education. Are you willing to do that this evening?
Yes.
Let's do that. So what I'm going to say is, I am a champion of public education, and you'll repeat after me. You ready? We ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's try it. I am a champion of public education. So that was good. That was good. But what are we trying to do? Excellent. Excellent. The mind shift starts now. And so I'd love for us to do it one more time. But this time with a little more vigor. You ready to try it?
Yes.
Okay, let's try it one more time. Let's say, I am a champion of public education. Thank you, and be blessed.
Yeah, we're gonna take an intermission. There's drinks and snacks back there if y'all want, and there's bathroom to go. If you go out the door to the right, going to the right, that's where the bathrooms will be. So, we're gonna take about 10 minutes. There's also some literature down here. Are we
doing more questions? We're all the way out here.
What's that?
Are we doing more of this? Okay.
It's warm. That's fired up. Yeah, there's
I'm hungry for like
That's why they're loose, because they're so hard to open.
Oh, you had a problem. They're not cold. That's why I got the
It was sort of. You found the bathroom, is that?
You go out the front door, or go through the office. It's right across the way. Up, yeah. It's ready. I'll be here.
How long would you think? I love seeing that. Okay. It's, I know that we would yeah. There we go.
Did you get some water? I saw you at one time.
Yeah, I never get it.
Warm and thirsty.
Very,
Well,
very.
you can head up there and get yourself. I just want to tell There's one right there that he kept going for, but he never got it. That's cool.
Huh?
I said, yeah.
Apple a day, you know.
Well, that might have been a good thing before inflation.
talk about.
Well, some people come and go to 276 and come down the way.
All right, I think we're gonna get started again. We'd like to give a shout out to the Macon County President Voter crew back there that's helping out with snacks. And shout out to Mo for coming out. So now I think we're going to give the candidates some more remarks.
Who started first last time? So it's John.
We're gonna let John speak.
Thank you very much. So I'll just pick up where I left off. And, I want to speak just a few minutes right now.
3 minutes.
So I want to speak just a second about vouchers, which Jim mentioned the fact that we don't have proper funding, and a lot of that traces back to the situation with vouchers. I came to the school board in 2013. I was the first person in the state to approach the school board to confront the issue of vouchers in 2013. And the board passed, under Jim's leadership, the board passed a resolution calling the question of vouchers. And in 2013, it was a $10 million camel's nose in the tent. For fiscal year 24-25, it's about $250 million nose in the tent, and then the proposal for next year is $500 million, and those dollars are almost entirely unaccountable. So if you want to know where our money is, it's in unaccountable vouchers. I want to recap the week I've had this past week. Last Monday I had lunch, 2-hour lunch with Rick Litchford. Rick is the commander of American Legion Post 108. We had a 2-hour lunch. We disagreed about, I'd say 90% of the things that we talked about. But we agreed on 3 things: love of democracy, love of critical thinking, and love of Macon County children. And he invited me to the American Legion Post 108 Friday night, and I came, and according to that crowd, I was the first educator ever to go into that room. This Saturday, yesterday, I was in the street, Phillips Street Fair with my tent. I'll be there at least 3 more times. This morning, I was giving a talk in a local church on 7 social sins and trying to avoid those 7 social sins in my dream for Macon County education. And tonight I'm here. I underline all those things to make 2 points. One is reaching across every possible political divide and pulling the community together, and a energy and sense of urgency. In my mind, a category 4 has hit public education, and it's all hands on deck, and we create, one of the roles of the board is to create a punch list and hand that punch list out to every community member who professes a love and support of public education. And as a board member, I would award that punch list. How much time do I have? 30 seconds. Again, I would refer you back to the website, johndebill.com, and take a look at the things that I've done. So I was the first person in the state to go to a county commission and demand a bipartisan resolution on Medicaid funding. 20 years ago this month, getting the school board to pay teachers on time. The school board and the central office was reluctant. They were going to have brand new teachers waiting for 6 weeks before they were paid. I came with a group with the teachers, and we put pressure on the board, and we got that. If you go to the history of advocacy page on johndebill.com, you're going to find about 15 things like that.
Fastest 3 minutes ever been through, to be honest with you. I think John would agree with that, so I'll get to the chase. One of the things, phrases I'm using in connection with what I felt about Brain is that experience counts, folks. I was first elected to the Board of Education in 2008. If I'd known what I was getting into at that time, I'm not so sure I would have been quite so enthusiastic. At that time, we were faced with what was called a financial cliff. Finances had hit rock bottom. Jobs money from federal government had dried up. The funding from the state just simply wasn't there that we needed to continue to offer and maintain the level of education when we were looking to do so. At that time, we'll use a figure. We're talking about Board of Education had over a $50 million budget. At the end of my first year, we had $275,000 total in our fund balance. Total. And it takes over $800,000 just to run our system in 1 month. So, we settled down, we had to make some hard decisions through attrition, looking at positions, making cuts in certain things in funding, and we came through it. And I think we came through it very, very well. We managed to maintain our financial stability the entire time I've been on the board. The other thing that as I've gone through, one of the things you don't know about, of course, is COVID, for heaven's sakes. We survived, but it was a total shock. I still remember talking about Superintendent, Dr. Baldwin. We were talking about it, and I think the next day he called me and said, Jim, we're done. We have shut down. So we had to come together and figure out a way to offer learning to all of our students, and we weren't ready for that. I don't think any school system was ready for that, but we succeeded. We did everything we could through the offering of hotspots, funding, making our schools available for people. We managed to get through. I hope we never go through that again, folks, because it was not the best education. Virtual learning, unfortunately, in my opinion, does not prepare students, and it's not a substitute for in-classroom teaching. Our teachers are an important part of that. Students need to be in front of them. They need to listen and interact with the students, and they also need to interact with each other. It's one of the most important parts of being as part of public education. The other thing I'm very adamant about, and one of the reasons I'm running again, is that we currently have some projects that I feel like are very, very important for our future. Making those strides and leading at the beginning, our new Franklin High School. Working with our legislators, Senator Corbin and Representative Carl Gillespie, that we worked with them, found out to do it, and we were able to obtain, through our efforts, $62 million that paid for this new high school. I'm very proud of that, and we're looking forward to my grandchildren to be able to go there at some point. So, thank you for being here tonight, and I appreciate you showing interest.
Jim, you didn't get history yet.
We got another one up here. This is Matt.
What category is this? Math, again? Yeah.
Between 1 and 100, how many multiples of 7 are odd numbers?
Let's start counting. How about 7?
Correct.
Well, I'm gonna help the audience, because I was.
True or false? The human shoulder is a ball and socket joint.
True.
Yep.
That wasn't a math question.
Nope.
Oh.
What is the prefix in the word unnecessary?
Oh, that might be
Very good question.
Geography. What is the capital of Oregon? Yeah. No, Salem.
do. But he answered.
All right, we're going to go to the Board of Education. How can the Board of Education accomplish its goals?
Board of Education begins with the 5 members that are elected by our community. They have to have a cohesive relationship that is very, very essential. And I'm very proud of the current board we have. They leave there, they have any personal agendas that are left at the door, and that's a wonderful feeling. So basically, we've got 5 individuals who are committed to working for the betterment of our educational system. They're up front and they listen to each other. There'll be times we agree to disagree, but at least when we walk out, we feel like we've made the best choice we possibly can, and the future of our schools is being taken care of.
How can our county retain quality teachers?
That's either the first or second most important question. It's not going to be with money anytime soon. So it's going to have to be a work environment. It's going to have to be support. One of the things that pops up in the teacher working survey where Macon County Schools is below the rest of the state is input on the budget. So one of the things, and it's a small thing, but I think it matters, is greater teacher input on the budget, having a say in what programs are adopted. I think the more that teachers are seen, the more they believe that they have a voice in what goes on in their building, or what programs are adopted, then I think that goes a long way towards teacher retention. It's the best you can do when you need funds, I think.
According to the U.S. Constitution, the President is part of which of the 3 branches of government?
He is part of the executive branch.
That's it. How many countries are in Africa?
I have no idea.
54.
Sure.
Sure. Okay.
He's a tick bucket now. I could get a teacher before I hate him.
Language arts. Can you hear me? Retired teacher. How many nouns are in this sentence? The rabbit ran to the cafeteria and ate a big California salad.
Well, I think that would be 3.
3 is correct. Which one of these, a seahorse, a sea lion, sea urchin?
That would be a sea lion.
Very good.
That's a sea lion.
How will you handle requests if approached by a member of the community or special interest groups?
I kind of answered that earlier with this with people. I think it's very important this involves the process that's been established. If you're approached by a special interest group, you ask questions, you make no promises, as you said, we're going to say, never say, I'll fix it, I'll take care of it. So you inquire, get as much information as you can, then you refer it bluntly to the superintendent and to the rest of the Board of Education. 1 to 5 vote, guys, that's what it is. You only have one vote. I learned very early, that doesn't count, I mean, it counts, but you gotta have the other 5 along with you. So to do that, take it to the board, to the superintendent, and you can make the best decision you possibly can. As long as it is not in conflict with our mission of Macon County School.
How would you support a board decision that you are not in favor of?
I think what you do is you listen to their reasons as to why they presented it, and then you put on a brave face and you support that decision, and you give it some time. I certainly do not have a monopoly on truth or policy, and there's an excellent chance that my position, my perspective, my vision is wrong. So I think what you do is as Jim said a minute ago, when you come out of the vote, when you come out of the meeting, it's a unified front. And then you wait for time. You give it 6 months a year. And then if the decision is going sideways, then maybe say, okay, fellow board members, we need to revisit this. So you let time, give things some time and let evidence prove that you were wrong, or maybe you need to revisit it.
This is going to be the final question for each. We're going to do a team answer. So.
Science.
Which planet in our solar system is known for its beautiful rings?
Saturn. I agree. Thank you. We're good.
What are the large rocks that orbit the sun between Mars and Jupiter called?
Big rocks.
Big rocks.
Big rocks. Big rocks.
Asteroids.
Asteroids. Very good.
Big giant rocks.
All right, we're going to give the candidates 3 more minutes each, and then we're going to wrap it up. This is your closing statement. It is a little bit past 7:30, so we don't want to keep people. Tomorrow, school starts tomorrow, so they have a job to do.
I missed the point where we have a closing statement. As I've expressed, there's issues confronting our school system. It's important to have the right people in the Board of Education. They're constantly judging what is best for our children and what's best for our county. So keep it short, as I said. I think my experience is very valuable. I've been through it. I've seen a lot of different scenarios as I've gone through life, including work with the board. I would be confessed, one of the things that I'm probably most proud of is that every board that I work with, we have always been together. We haven't had personal agendas that interfere with things, and especially, I want to especially comment on the current board. We have 4 members, 1 of the members, like I said, who are totally and utterly committed to the students of Macon County and doing the things that we really think are in their best interest. So we're going into an uncertain future. We have a lot of big projects that we're being faced with. I'd like to be part of that, and I think in my experience, I will do everything I possibly can, both for the community and for our school system. And above all else, is whatever is in the best interest of the student. That is the goal. Thank you.
together. Thank you, Bobby, for live streaming it. Thank you to everybody who came tonight to listen to us. Again, I'll start my 30th year tomorrow, and I agree with Jim that experience counts. I think Jim has done a fantastic job serving in what is often a thankless job for 16 years. I made the decision to run because I believe it is time for a teacher voice on the Board of Education. Teachers are the frontline workers in the process, and teachers have a unique and important perspective in vetting programs, in vetting decisions, in vetting policy. And I think it's time for somebody who has spent 30 years in the classroom and 30 years outside the classroom advocating at the state and local level to have a position on the board. I take you back to my advocacy page. I sued the state of North Carolina and won. The reason that veteran teachers have career status in this state is because myself and 4 other people joined together and we sued the state. The reason that Jim's Board of Education and no other Board of Education had to deal with the cuts to arts and music and PE in K-3 is because several of us got together outside of Jones Street in the freezing cold several years ago, and we lobbied those General Assembly members, both House and Senate, hard. Those are some of the victories that I've achieved. I've also lost several times. I've worked when the board was faced with a massive shortfall. You go onto the website and look, all the cuts that we're going to face. I got together with current board members Stephanie Lassiter, Molly Meyer Phillips, Jennifer Love, and Kate McLean, and we put together a multi-party, multifaceted group. We lobbied the county commission hard, and we got an extra $1.5 million in current operating expense. So I agree that experience counts. I also believe that action matters. And I encourage you to give me a hard look. Go to the website, johntheworld.com, and I would deeply appreciate your vote. November 5th, early voting starts October 17th. Thank you all again very much.
Thank you, Candace. Thank you, teachers. Thank you everyone for coming out. The winner is the teachers.
It's been a long time since I got a medal.
All right, again, thank you guys for coming out. Again, we have a pocket back there for donations for Together with Man, which is a foster, take care of foster families here in town. The Macon County Young Progressive Voters have another event coming up. It's September 14th. It's going to be at Wessex Park, and it's going to be a animal adoption / voter registration event. It's through Appalachian Animal Rescue here in town. So it's going to be from 10 to 2, I think. So show up if you can. Yeah, thank you guys for coming out.
What's the date for the Wesley Park thing?
September 14th.
I still say we got to add one district. On the way. Talk about time.
On another app.
Okay, thank you everyone for watching. I'll try to have recorded segments up in the next 3 or 4 days or so. Thank you all for watching. This is Bobby with MaconMedia.com.